I have a friend who recently got married. He's been job hopping for a while, trying different things, trying to figure out what he wants to do. And recently he's been asking me more about work, money, skills, and the things I try to do to be effective in my job. And I think I understand why. There comes a point where life starts to feel more real. It's not just about getting by anymore. You start thinking about stability. You start thinking about money differently. You start thinking about a future. You start asking yourself, am I actually building something or am I surviving month to month? So if I were talking to him directly, this is probably what I'd say. The first thing is don't pressure yourself to have the perfect life plan right away. I think a lot of people get stuck because they think they need to figure out their reason, their passion, their career, their business, their purpose, or their entire future all at once. But most of the time, life doesn't work that way. You don't figure yourself out by just thinking harder. You figure yourself out by trying things, paying attention, and learning from what happens. So instead of asking, what is my one true passion? A better question might be, what can I try next that will make me much more useful, more skilled, or more stable? That question is more practical because when you're still figuring life out, the goal is not to find the perfect answer immediately. The goal is to collect evidence. Try a job and ask, what did this teach me? Can this make me more valuable? Do I actually like solving this kind of problem? Try working with different people and ask what kind of environment brings out the best in me. This is how you start learning about yourself. Not from personality tests alone, not from motivational videos, not from waiting until everything feels clear. You learn by doing things and paying attention. The second thing I'd say is stability is underrated. I know stability sounds boring. A lot of people want freedom, success, passive income, travel, business, big opportunities, all of that. And that's fine. But before you can build something big, you need some kind of stable base. Stable income, stable habits, relationships, stable emotions, stable work ethic. Because it's hard to make good decisions when your life is always chaotic. It's hard to think clearly when you're always broke. And it is hard to take risks when every small problem becomes an emergency. It's hard to grow when you keep restarting from zero. So sometimes the first goal is not to become rich. Sometimes the first goal is to become reliable. Can you show up consistently? Can you manage your money better? Can you keep promises to yourself? Can you finish what you start? Can you become someone people can depend on? That may not sound exciting, but it changes everything because stability is the platform you build from. The third thing I'd say is become useful first. If you don't know what career to pursue, what business to start, or what path to take, start by being useful. Useful people can get opportunities, they get trusted, they get referred. Useful people get invited into rooms. And they learn faster because other people let them closer to real problems. And you don't always need to be the smartest person to be useful. Sometimes you just need to be the person who actually helps, the person who follows through, the one who communicates clearly, the one who makes things easier, the person who solves the annoying problem nobody wants to deal with, and the person who doesn't just complain but tries to fix things. That is one thing I've learned from work. A lot of value comes from being the person who can be trusted with problems, not just tasks. Because tasks are simple. Someone tells you what to do and you do it. But when you look at a messy situation, understand what's wrong, organize it, improve it, and make life easier for everyone involved, you become valuable. So if you're trying to grow in your career, ask yourself, how can I make my boss's life easier? How can I make my team more effective? How can I reduce confusion? How can I solve problems before people have to chase me? How can I become the kind of person people trust with bigger responsibilities? That mindset alone can separate you from a lot of people. The fourth thing I'd say is don't chase money, study value. Of course, money matters, especially when you're trying to stabilize your life. But if you only ask, how do I make money fast? You might jump from one random thing to another. A better question is, what problems can I solve that people actually care about? Because money usually follows value. If you can sell, that is valuable. If you can communicate well, that is valuable. If you can organize chaos, if you can use tools to save people's time, that's valuable. If you can manage people, systems, content, operations, customers, leads, or projects, that is what is valuable. So instead of only looking for opportunities, build the kind of skills that make opportunities easier to get. That's a big difference. Some people are always waiting for someone to give them a chance, but when you become valuable, you create more chances for yourself. The fifth thing I'd say is pay attention to your patterns. This is something most people avoid. If you keep leaving jobs, ask why. Is it because the jobs are really bad? Or is there a pattern in how you handle discomfort? If you keep starting things and not finishing them, ask why. Is the idea wrong? Or do you lose interest when it stops being exciting? If you keep struggling with money, ask why. Is your income too low? Or do your spending habits need work? If you keep feeling stuck, ask why. Is there really no opportunity? Or are you avoiding the boring basics that would move you forward? These are questions that are uncomfortable, but they're useful. And I think that is what taking responsibility means. It doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It doesn't mean pretending life is fair. It doesn't mean ignoring the fact that some people start with more advantages than others. It just means being honest enough to ask, what part of this is mine to improve? Because even if your situation is not fully your fault, your next move is still yours. The last thing I'd say, don't wait until you feel ready. A lot of people wait for confidence before they act, but most of the time, confidence comes after action. You become confident when you prove to yourself that you can do hard things. You become clear when you start moving and get feedback. You become disciplined when you keep small promises to yourself. So don't wait for the perfect plan. Pick one area of your life and take it seriously. Your work, money, health, habits, relationships, skills. Just start with one. Make it better. Then move on to the next. You don't need to fix your entire life in one dramatic moment. You just need to stop abandoning responsibility for your next move. And honestly, I'm not saying this as someone who has everything figured out. I don't. I'm still learning, I'm still trying things, I'm still making mistakes. But the things that helped me most were usually simple. Try things, pay attention, become useful, build skills, stabilize your life, stabilize your patterns, keep your promises, and slowly become someone you can respect.